Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about having your Mars in Libra in a natal chart, or a Libra Mars, depending on how you look at it. I mean, how you want it, what you want to call it, I should say. It's the same thing. Now, first off, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the Mars placements in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos were a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, having Libra, Mars, Mars and Libra, Mars is connected with our energy and vitality. So having this placement, a lot of that, that energy and vitality can go into art, which could cover a wide divergence of things, whether it's drawing, painting, sculpting, as some examples. It may go into simply negotiating, being a mediator, and into your relationships as well. And the thing is, even I would say even competition, because Libra is connected, with the seventh house in astrology, and seventh house corresponds with competition, and it's connected with that. And also, too, it could simply be balancing things or even playing games of balance, such as, like Jenga. As an example, some of you may remember, older people out there, there's a game called Don't Tip the Waiter. I think that involves some balance. Or even, sports, that I would say require a certain balance, such as tennis or gymnastics. So, and anyway, next thing, as far as Mars goes in astrology, it's associated with our drive and motivation. So having this placement, a lot of you may be strongly driven and motivated toward your relationships, and collaborating with others, on projects and endeavors, doing, bouncing ideas off others, intellectual sociability, just simply socializing, with others, and doing things where you're looking at, as far as this placement goes, as the drive and motivation. It can just be about compromise and trying to reconcile and be that, be that mediator. And you may be driven and motivated toward accomplishing things, of an artistic nature, as well as I stated before, some examples, drawing, painting, or sculpting, as some. And doing things, and it could even be things of an intellectual nature. I mean, Libra is an air sign, and doing things which would, help promote, more attractiveness, and that I would say that wouldn't exclude, working out and doing things to stay in shape. So now Mars is also connected, with combat, confrontation, battles, and fighting. So this placement, astrology, is sometimes it could manifest in a contentious situation, with the significant other, or marriage partner, or your relationships in general. It could indicate more battles with the law enforcement, more so than the average person. And you may often try to combat, things associated with injustice, doing, things that could be lawmakers. You may be, often, getting involved, embroiled in, fights, with these people. And it could even be, people that are in, Libra, professions, whether it's art or the law, or, somebody, people in human resources. Say if you're working at a place, human resource manager, you feel he or she is not giving you, the fair schedule, as an example. And something, could be with people that are, interior decorators, or people that are involved in cosmetics or beauty or modeling, as some examples. Now Mars is also connected with enthusiasm, and it shows what we could have that, enthusiasm for. So when you have Mars and Libra in your natal chart, you may have a lot of enthusiasm and exuberance, for the law, just in general. legal matters, and things, artistic endeavors, and just trying to balance things, whether it's your relationships or your budget, your home life, and the thing is, or even yourself, if you're involved in a sport that's connected with balance, as I mentioned before, such as tennis or gymnastics, doing things, you may also have a strong exuberance for things that are, very refined. And, the thing is, this could be in your relationships in general, collaborating with others on projects and endeavors. And also, the thing, with this placement as well, it could just be, things, again, doing things, with others. It could be, there may be a strong enthusiasm for, Libra professions, whether it could be, being an attorney or doing something as a judge, a bailiff, or, it could be, doing something, some kind of artwork, in general. And the thing about this placement too, and having this in your natal chart, remember that Mars is associated with sex, and the thing about and it can reflect your attitudes toward this and toward sex, and you want naturally having this placement, you may desire balance in your sex life, fairness, sometimes doing what you want to do, and sometimes doing what the partner, may want you to do, in terms of the sexual nature, and also having, a peaceful setting as far as your sexual matters go. You may be very persuasive in getting, doing what you want though too, from a sexual standpoint, but you also may be very cooperative in these matters as well, and also trying very hard to appease, your sexual partner as well. And what could be, an aphrodisiac could simply be charm, from a partner, and just looking, looking very attractive. I know that could apply, regardless of astrological placements, but it may be more emphasizing on physical beauty, and attractiveness may, factor may be more emphasized and accentuated with this placement more so than most others. Now, another thing too is that, again, Mars is connected, not just with sex, but the sexual partner, and that person, the sexual partner, may actually be a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply embody characteristics of the sign. It could be somebody that's very refined, charming, tactful, diplomatic, artistic, cooperative, persuasive, someone that likes to bounce ideas off others, may emphasize intellectual sociability. It could be somebody that may be in a Libra profession, again, such as working in connection with the law or art, human resources, interior decoration or design, and even, I would say, maybe even scale design as well. I mean, Libra is connected with scales, and maybe somebody that may be involved with tennis or gymnastics as some other examples. So the thing too is, about Mars and astrology, it's also connected, with injuries and even surgery. So having Mars and Libra in your natal chart, this is where there may be certain susceptibility to injuries, to the lower back, the kidneys, or the endocrine system. I have, Libra on the cusp of my sixth house in my natal chart, and I've had issues with my lower back and kidneys, as well. So, and it's also, it could be injuries that could be the result, I would think, even, connected with balance, not being balanced on something, or on a balancing beam, or whatever it might be, you know. This is where, slipping and falling, where you lose your equilibrium and balance, as some examples. It can be, just, and it might even be where, Libra, I would say, is connected with lawsuits, so it might even be injuries in which you wind up suing more so than average, such as a company, as an example. Another thing about Mars, it's associated with anger. So, having this placement, Mars, of course, is in its detriment in Libra, and that anger may be a little bit harder, to let out as opposed to in contrast to, Mars and Aries, in this example, Mars and its dignity in Aries. And there may be certain ambivalence and indecisiveness regarding expressing anger. It could be, but anger may be expressed more on injustice, things that are unlawful. And there, in some cases, there may be certain passive aggressive tendencies, I would say, with displacement as well. And anger may be directed often at the significant other or marriage partner, or people that are simply in Libra professions, people that are involved in art, or it could be acting, or people that are involved in other legal professions such as the law, attorneys, bailiffs, judges, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.